Hi, in this video we will be solving example sums for journal entries in the topic of treatment of goodwill. Let's go to the first example. Example 1. A, B and C shared profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1 respectively. With effect from 1st April 2019, they agreed to share profits and losses equally. Goodwill of the firm is valued at Rs 18,000. We are asked to pass the necessary journal entries for the treatment of goodwill when the case 1 says goodwill is to be adjusted through the partner's capital accounts and the case 2 says goodwill is to be raised and written off. So the case 1 deals with method 1 and case 2 deals with the method 2. Before we go further into passing the journal entries, let's find out the gain and sacrifice of each partner. So let's do the working notes first. Working notes. Old profit sharing ratio between A, B and C is equal to 3:2:1. The new profit sharing ratio between the three of them is equal, so it's 1:1:1. So let's do old share minus the new share. For A, old share 3 divided by 6 minus the new share 1/3, a positive 1/6, so A sacrifices. For B, it's 2/6 minus 1/3, no gain or sacrifice by B. And for C, 1/6 minus 1/3, a negative 1/6, therefore C gains. So let's pass the necessary journal entries. Journal entries in the books of the firm. Date, particulars, LF number, debit rupees and credit rupees. Let's begin with case 1. The date is 01/04/2019. We need to debit the gaining partner with the amount of compensation payable and credit the sacrificing partner with the amount of compensation receivable. The gaining partner, we'll assume the fluctuating capital accounts. So C's capital account, debit to A capital account. It is 1/6 into the goodwill of the firm, which is 18,000. So it's 3,000 against C and 3,000 against A, being goodwill adjusted during change in profit sharing ratio. Now let's go to the second case. The same date 01/04/2019. Case 2. Under case 2, the first entry is for raising the goodwill. So I'll debit goodwill account. And I'll debit goodwill account with the goodwill of the firm, which is rupees 18,000, and credit the partners A, B and C in their old profit sharing ratio. So 18,000 divided in 3:2:1, the old profit sharing ratio. So it's 9,000, 6,000 and 3,000, being goodwill raised in books. On the same date, the next entry for writing of goodwill, A's capital account debit, B capital account debit, C capital account debit, to goodwill account, against goodwill account, the goodwill of the firm is credited, and this will be divided among A, B and C in their new profit sharing ratio, which is 1:1:1. So it comes up to 6,000 per partner. And the narration being goodwill written off. I'll remove the split and we can see both the methods, the journal entries. So these are the journal entries under case 1 and the journal entries under case 2. Now, although this is not essential in your examination, I will tell you how to find out that the net effect of both these two methods will be the same. Now, if you see case 2 here, we have debited goodwill account with 18,000 in the first entry and credited the same goodwill account with 18,000 in the second journal entry. So that effect gets cancelled. As far as A's capital account is concerned, we have credited in the first journal entry with 9,000 and debited A's capital account with 6,000. So the net effect is a credit to A's capital account of 3,000. So it's to A's capital account 3,000. For B's capital, in the first entry in case 2, we have credited with rupees 6,000, and in the second entry, we have debited with 6,000. It gets cancelled. So B's capital account does not appear in the net effect. And as far as C's capital account is concerned, in the first entry on case 2, we have credited C's capital account with 3,000, and in the second entry in case 2, we have debited C's capital account with 6,000. So the net effect is a debit for C's capital account of 3,000. And this is the entry which is the same as case 1. So that is why it said that case 1 and case 2 will give the same net effect. However, in the absence of information, only case 1 is to be used. Let's go to example 2. Example 2. Kumar Gupta and Kavita were partners in a firm sharing profits and losses equally. With effect from 1st April 2019, they decided to share future profits and losses in the ratio of 1:2:1 respectively. For this purpose, goodwill of the firm was to be valued at 2 years' purchase of the average profits of the last 5 years. The profits of the last 5 years were as follows. The 5 years' profits is given in the form of a table. You are required to A says calculate the goodwill of the firm, and B pass the necessary journal entry for the treatment of goodwill on change in profit sharing ratio of Kumar Gupta and Kavita. So let's go to the solution. We'll begin with A to find out the value of goodwill of the firm. So goodwill is to be valued at average profits method, for which the formula is goodwill is equal to average profits multiplied by number of years purchase. Here the total profits for the past 5 years rupees 4 lakh plus rupees 4 lakh 80,000 plus rupees 7 lakh 33,000. It's a loss of 33,000, so minus 33,000 plus 2 lakh 20,000. This is equal to total 18 lakh. Therefore, average profits is equal to total profits of 18 lakh divided by the number of years, simple average. Answer, average profits is equal to rupees 3,60,000. Therefore, goodwill is equal to average profits, which is 3,60,000, into the number of years purchase. They've asked us to take 2 years purchase, and this is equal to rupees 7,20,000. So the rupees 7,20,000 is the value of goodwill of the firm. So next, let's go to B. We'll do the working notes to find out the gain and sacrifice of each partner. We'll do old share minus new share. The OPSR is 1:1:1, and the new profit sharing ratio is 1:2:1. So we'll begin with Kumar. For Kumar, old share 1/3 minus the new share 1/4. Positive 1/12, Kumar sacrifices. For Gupta, (1/3) minus 2/4 On negative 2 by 12, Gupta gains. And for Kavita, 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4 is a positive 1 by 12. So, Kavita also sacrifices. So, let's go to the solution. Journal entries in the books of the firm. Date, particulars, LF number, debit, rupees, and credit rupees. The date is 1st April 2019. We need to debit the gaining partner and credit the sacrificing partners. Gupta gains. Gupta capital account. Debit. 2. Kumar capital account. To Kavita capital account. So for Gupta, it's goodwill of the firm, which is 7,20,000 rupees into 2 divided by 12, which is 1,20,000 rupees. And for Kumar, 7,20,000 rupees into his sacrifice, which is 1 divided by 12, which is 60,000. And since Kavita also sacrifices 1 by 12, 60,000 against Kavita, being goodwill adjusted through partners capital accounts on change in profit sharing ratio. So in the sum, before passing the journal entry for treatment of goodwill, we had to find out the value of goodwill of the firm based on average profits method. Using the formula, goodwill of the firm is equal to average profits into the number of years purchase. In this problem, since nothing is mentioned, I had used method 1 to pass the journal entries for treatment of goodwill on change in profit sharing ratio.